joined by Brett Taveau, author of Unpacking Greatness, a Chiefs book you can find on Amazon. Brett, there were some highlights in the Chiefs' 21-17 loss to the Eagles. We're going to go over those today, mainly that the Eagles have a very imposing front line on the defensive line, and the Chiefs ran right at it.
Yeah, 23 carries by the running backs for 116 yards, a little over 5 yards per carry. And, getting into the film here, I mean, they were doing work. They were getting, a hat on a hat in the run game, and the backs were seeing things well and just had a lot of success.
Let's go ahead and break down. We're going to go 2 by 2 here on some of the runs. And not only the Chiefs have a lot of successful runs, but they went left and right and ran some different schemes with it. So let's start with outside zone here and just kind of highlight some of the guys that are blocking well and some of the things you see that led to some of the Chiefs' successful runs here.
Sure. So this is, outside zone to the right, like you said, and they're going to use fly motion to gain the extra hat to the play side there, I believe, with Sky Moore running around there. But here you see the picture. If you could take it back to the start there, Philadelphia plays this over front where they've got the 3 technique there to the left, to the defensive left, offensive right, outside eye of Trey Smith, and then that 2-eye number 90 there. So from an angle standpoint, outside zone to the 3 technique is a little bit better in terms of being able to get a guy reached and get a run in the B gap. So they're going to run outside zone here. And as you roll the tape, you can just see guys, they do get this, the center actually, Humphrey is able to end up reaching this 3 technique, rocks back in the A gap. Trey Smith climbs to number 52. And then Jawaan Taylor, he really, he sees the outside, the C gap's taken by these double team, or I guess with the tight end there, and then Sky Moore arcing around. So he turns back inside to secure that C gap there and climbs and gets a piece of somebody. And that's just, that's a really pretty picture right there in the outside zone.
As we see, successful play. Pacheco gets some yardage, and he loves to pop up and celebrate that as well. So we got one to the right. Now let's take one to the left.
So a little bit different look here. They're going to toss this, and they're going to use now Kelsey. Same idea. They're going to gain a blocker with a little bit different type of motion, but they're now going to toss this. And Philadelphia, I believe, is playing an odd front here, so a little bit different look defensively. They got a guy, I believe, head up on the nose, and then 2 guys over the tackles there. So an odd front. So your combinations up front are going to be a little bit different, but the Chiefs handle it well. And they get hats on hats here. Noah Gray chips before he climbs, which allows Kelsey to overtake. And if you pause it right there, if you get, you get the edge on outside zone there. That's what defenses want to take away. When you're defending the outside zone, you want to set the edge. You got to set the edge to make that ball cut back towards the inside. And the Chiefs are able to do such a good job that Philly's unable to set the edge here. And Edwards-Helaire gets a 12-yard run.
Real quickly, I want to highlight, too, Clyde has not had the burst, and we've seen that ever since being a first-round pick. But right here, the temptation could be to cut this thing inside. He does not, and he has really good vision here. So just wanted to highlight on this play as well. To make this to the outside, you have to have your running back read the same thing. He read the blocks correctly, and that's what made this play go.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to stay disciplined with your eyes. And if you're trying to see everything, you see nothing. So, of course, first thing you want to check is, do we have the edge here? And as you said, he stays disciplined with his eyes and is able to, get the ball around the perimeter there.
All right, we're going to go into power, which, as you know, power is going to be a pulling guard. So we're going to start off to the right for the Chiefs.
So, yeah, this is a single back power. A lot of times when you run power, you have a guy in the backfield that's going to kick out. But because of the way the front is set up, Kelsey is going to be he's going to take the place of the kick out guy with the base block. He's just going to block out on this very wide defensive end here and accomplishes the same thing as a kick out. Trey Smith and Jawaan Taylor are going to work a double team now to the backside linebacker, number 41. Their job is to get movement on that and work back to 41. Creed Humphrey's going to back block. Thuney is, of course, pulling. And then Donovan Smith on the outside. His job's, he's got the easiest block on this play. Basically keep that guy from chasing, down the runner in the opposite A gap. So Pacheco does a really good job of following the wrapper, which is Thuney, and gets vertical here.
Yeah, you see the interior guys. This is where they're going to make their money here. Thuney, boom. That's the hole, and that's where Pacheco finds it.
Thuney does well, and this double team is a really solid double team. You'll see Trey Smith and Taylor get hip to hip and get some really good movement on this 3 technique, who is, I don't know if that's Jordan Davis or not, but whoever it is, it's a really good player. They're able to get that movement. I think that is Jordan Davis there. Just a monster. Work to that backside, at least make him go around. And I mean, just a really good run. And
makes a guy miss here too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had a great night.
Yep. So we went to the right side. So now what's next? You got to go to the left side and have a different.
Same play. This play is really good to that 3 technique. Talked about outside zone being good to the 3 technique because you do get a true double team here, and you're able to get 600 pounds right here on number 90 before working back to 41. Now I think if Andy Heck in the film room today or tomorrow, whenever they get in there, he's probably going to tell him, hey, good job getting movement, talking about Donovan Smith, but you got to stay a little bit more square here, and you got to keep your eyes up because his eyes should be on 41 right now because that's who he has to come off to on the second level in order to make this play, the best it could be, and he's unable to get to 41, who ends up making the play. So good job getting movement on the double team, but not a really good job getting to that second level there.
And again, this is where Trey Smith loves to eat here, coming around the corner looking for somebody, and he finds 52.
Yeah, 52 sees big Trey Smith coming around there, and he's like, this is not good. But like I said, it's blocked decently for the most part. But if Donovan Smith can get a piece of, can get to 41 here, if you pause it and take 41 out of the picture, the back Edwards-Helaire is able to follow 65 there, and Sky Moore gets to the safety, then you're going to have Edwards-Helaire one-on-one with the corner.
Yeah, I was going to mention that Justin Watson does not get his block done either. He kind of bounces off like a bowling ball, but again, doesn't have to take perfect blocks every single time, and the Chiefs did well enough here to get major yardage on this particular play.
Well, that is Watson. I thought that was Sky Moore. I saw the 4, so yeah, that is Watson. We were talking about the same thing there.
All right, let's get to 2 more inside zone for the Chiefs, and that's what's next.
Yeah. If you could just rewind that back to the start there. So this is, as I was looking at the tape, it's interesting to me, having that power to the 3 techniques to get that double team and outside zone to the 3 technique to get a little bit better, to hopefully get a reach with that guard and get your tackle up to the second level. Inside zone is actually better away from the 3 technique. So the Chiefs ran a lot of what's called same side inside zone. Usually when you run inside zone out of the offset shotgun, out of this look, it'd be going to the left. So you can read the backside. That's how it's run most of the time. But the Chiefs ran it to this. I don't know if Philadelphia started to set or something they had shown on tape to where they set that 3 technique away from the back in order to, better defend the run. So the Chiefs were running. You can see the lines blocking right, but the back's making it look like it's zone left with his footwork. So he's going to get the ball on the mesh and then redirect and come downhill and chase the butt of the center like he does. So a little bit of misdirection there, but here you get a hat on a hat and, you're a shoelace tackle and obviously that corner has to miss too from getting a really, really big run here. But common theme is you're just getting guys blocked, especially on the first level, and giving the backs a chance to get to the second.
You mentioned the same side thing going on here. It gives Creed Humphrey just a chance, 52 here, to get his guy completely moved out of the way, and a great block from him.
And then, of course, Thuney is able to secure that backside, not allow 93 to get into that. And what you have is just that it ends up looking like it's a front, but it's behind the center. So it's technically a backside A-gap run there because it is behind the center. And that's an easy path to the second level for that running back.
Good scheme by the Chiefs. Again, maybe pick up some tells on tape. And if McKinnon does the old Brian Cook impression, lifts those knees up to the second level, maybe he has a touchdown here. Not quite, but it's still a good run for the Chiefs. I believe that was a 3rd down. So, yeah, that inside zone, it was a 3rd down on that one.
Yeah, I think it was a 3rd and 2, and I think that's the drive here. Let me look at my notes here. Yeah, that's the drive Kelsey fumbled on. So if McKinnon's able to make that guy miss and get to the house, obviously it would have been a different game for the Chiefs being able to get points there instead of a turnover.
Whole narrative might have changed. Last one here, a different inside zone run. So take us through this one.
I mean, this is the same play, the exact same play, just going the other way here. And this is actually earlier in the game. But one thing I want to point out here, this exact same look is where running count. This is the drive after they ran power to the right with Pacheco and got some good yardage there. So you watch 41 here. He's maybe thinking, okay, this is the exact same formation, exact same backfield set, and watch him really go. He's maybe thinking, okay, I got to really get over to the other side so I can fit power. However, he kind of takes himself out of the fit here. Pacheco stays disciplined, getting the ball and then pushing the vertical and chasing the butt of the center. And the butt of the center kind of tells you where to go on inside zone. Right there, like I said, 41 takes himself out of the fit. And again, the back is getting to the second level very clean.
Really good run, really good blocking up front. And from the naked eye, at least the first watch I went through, probably one of the best games of the year from Creed Humphrey. We just continually see him turning guys in, out, wherever he wanted to turn them. And so a really big game for him. But this is part of what makes the run game successful. Not only some film study, but also guys executing and good footwork. And obviously the Chiefs getting their double teams done and doing a lot of good things in the run game.
Yeah, I think they had a really good plan on how to, I think they had a good beat on the tendency of whether they were going to be running outside zone, inside zone, being able to get that to the right side of the front, being able to get inside zone to the 2I or to the A gap defender, and outside zone and power to the B gap defender. And it's possible. I saw something on Twitter. I can't remember if it's Jeff Schwartz, maybe Mitchell Schwartz, one of those guys. They were talking about how Mahomes was possibly getting them into the right runs based on the alignment of the 3 technique and not having to move the back. Because again, like I said, when you move the back, sometimes Philly would shift the front or could shift the front in order to set that 3 technique away from the back. But yeah, the results were impressive from these guys.
Yeah, really good running game for the Chiefs. And again, some obvious negatives out there that have been talked about, but it's worth talking about the positives too. And the Chiefs ran the ball much more effectively than I think anybody thought in this game against the Eagles.
And maybe this is a sign of things to come. With maybe leaning on these guys a little bit more. I know you got the best player on planet Earth at quarterback, but it's those guys can do it. I think they can. You can win a lot of games leaning on these guys.
Early in the game, first quarter, first drive, Trey Smith was looking to the sideline doing this to the coaching staff, said, feed him, feed him, feed him. So if the offensive line gets that sort of mentality, Chiefs offense might have a different gear it can go to, even if the passing game isn't like it usually is. It's going to wrap it up for the details. For Brett, this is Jesse. Be sure to tune in for another episode next week.